friends, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to take you through 5 fun facts about the Beehive State that you probably didn't know. If you're like us and you love a bit of trivia, then stick around. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living, eating, sleeping, working, and playing here in northern Utah, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in northern Utah.
We are Sloan and Kim Peterson with the Peterson Group, and we have been in the real estate business for 10 years, and every day we help people just like you looking to buy, sell, or invest in northern Utah, and we absolutely do love it. Whether you are looking to buy 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us an email or a text. All the information is in the description below so we can help you make that smooth transition to northern Utah. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so kind of a bonus fun fact to kick off the video is where Utah got its name. There are 2 different theories as to where the name Utah actually came from. The first one is that it originates from the North American Ute Tribe, and Ute means people of the mountains. The second theory is that it came from the word Yutahih, which means higher up. Either way though, Utah comes from a Native American word. Both are pretty fitting. I personally have always heard it came from the Ute tribe, but the other theory is fun too. All right, there's a bit of a fun fact for you, and now let's dive into the video.
So did you know that the Great Salt Lake is actually saltier than any of the world's oceans? Well, it's true. Utah's Great Salt Lake is about 4 times saltier than any of the world's oceans. If a person boiled 1 quart of water from the saltiest part of the lake, a half a cup of salt would still remain. It's so salty because the ancient Lake Bonneville dried up and salt and other minerals were left behind. Because the shrinking lake had no stream out to the sea, the salty deposits became concentrated in the lake. In fact, the Morton Salt factory, you know, the most popular brand of salt, featuring the girl with the yellow umbrella, actually houses its headquarters here in Utah, and its salt is made from the Great Salt Lake.
And coming in at number 2 is Kentucky Fried Chicken, which actually got its start right here in Utah, despite the moniker. Extensive internet research reveals that Kentucky Fried Chicken started in Utah thanks to an enterprising couple, Arlene and Pete Harmon. They opened a restaurant called Harmon's Cafe on 39th and State Street in Salt Lake in 1951. While paying a visit to his friend's home in Salt Lake City, Colonel Sanders was able to convince him to put his chicken on his menu. Harmon agreed, and when Sanders returned to Utah after a few weeks, he found customers lined up down the street waiting to taste his product. His success at the Utah location inspired him to continue licensing his chicken recipe to restaurants across the country, and we all know how popular KFC ended up being.
So there was actually an event known as the Great Utah War that not many people really know about. Kim and I really didn't even know about this until we did the research for this video. During the Utah War from 1857 to 1858, over 120 unarmed settlers, including women and children, were murdered by a group of Mormon militiamen. The militia initially claimed that Native Americans killed the settlers, and the motives behind the massacre do remain unclear, though historians do point to maybe it being war hysteria or the fear from outsiders. Scholars still debate whether the Mormon leader Brigham Young did order the massacre or if the responsibility lies with the local leaders in southern Utah. To this day, it remains somewhat of an unsolved mystery as to why the whole event even occurred in the first place.
So crazy, the things you learn. All right, coming in at number 4, and this one probably isn't much of a surprise, but a higher percentage of people in Utah are married than any other state in the United States. In fact, 55.8% per 1,000 people in Utah are married. Utah couples tend to marry at a younger age, and the median age for the first marriage in Utah is 26.2 years for the groom and 24.1 for the bride. The average for the rest of the United States is 29.1 for the groom and 27.1 for the bride. Utah's divorce rate is also slightly higher than the national average in America, and it's actually been that way for decades. However, although people from Utah are more likely to get divorced, they're also more likely to remarry.
All right, and last but not least is if a married woman commits a crime in the presence of her husband, she's not guilty, her husband is. Now, this is one of those laws that still remain in the criminal code, but it's clearly not enforced. Although I guess if you had a good defense attorney, they could argue that and might even win. I, for one, am not going to test that theory out, but it's just kind of an interesting fact that still remains in the code books today.
All right, guys, that wraps up the 5 top fun facts you probably didn't know about Utah. And one last bonus fact to leave you with, Post Malone does in fact live in Utah full time, and he's even been known to drive his Lamborghini in the snow. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give us a like and leave us a comment. We love to hear from you guys.
Picking where you'll call home is an important decision, and we would love to help you make that smooth transition to cities like Salt Lake and the surrounding areas. If you're looking to purchase in the Northern Utah area, we'd love to help you out. So give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
And until next time, we're keeping it real. Estate.